Hey, how you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. Today we're talking with HB of Heroineburgh Comics and Marvin Wynn of the Edge Comics. How you guys doing?
Hello, we're
Hello,
great.
can you hear me?
Hello from
Yeah,
Pittsburgh.
Oh, cool. Oh, yep, Pittsburgh. What's the weather over there in Pittsburgh today?
looks like it's 81.
Oh, yeah, it's hot too. I
70.
work outside, so
Oh,
yeah. So,
I was going to
I
say
see you got a
79,
Punisher
but
shirt on.
yeah, I think he's more accurate.
So, Marvin, I see you got a Punisher shirt on. So, I take it you're an old school comic book fan, huh?
I'm old, yeah, guy from the 80s and 90s.
Okay, okay, yeah, you look younger than me, but so, which is probably most of the population of the planet. So, what comics did you guys collect growing up? I'll start us off with that. Jeez, I can't even talk already.
So who do you want to go first?
Whoever,
Okay, I'll
Marvin,
go
you go
first.
first.
yeah,
Yeah, so I guess I would say that I was cut my teeth off of animated shows. So GI Joe and Spider Man, and then transitioned to comics from there. So it was Spider Man, GI Joe, and then X Men, and then following the X Men cruise from Marvel over to Image.
okay, okay. So that '96 X-Men show that seemed to be
Yes,
a big influence on a lot of people. That seemed to get a
yes,
lot of
very
people
much.
to comic books. And HB, what comics did you start on? What would you say you cut your teeth on?
Well, he says he cut his teeth on animated shows. I would cut my teeth on live action superhero shows. In the 70s, there was a wave of superhero shows that were live action and also some cartoons. So you got Linda
Yeah.
Carter, Electra Woman and Dinah Girl, Isis
Oh
Shazam
yeah.
Hour. And the first book I ever bought was Star Wars #1 that came
Oh.
out. And then
Oh.
pretty much after that, a lot of Teen Titans and X Men in the early to mid '80s. And another book that really influenced me was Dial H for Hero, because the
Oh.
kids in
Okay.
the book were able to submit their characters and get them published. Of course, DC owned it once they published it, but it was
Did you
pretty
ever submit?
amazing that you could create your own characters and get them in a. I did.
Yeah.
The average age of a submitter was really something like 13 or 14 at the time. I was probably 10 or 11. And I submitted about 5 or 6 that got published, but at least 2 of them ended up in Heroineburgh 30 some years later.
Which two? Which two?
Oh, well, for sure the one if you see my avatar right there, the one on the bottom left, Savannah, the leopard lady, the jaguar lady, she was one of the characters that I designed and sent into Wolfman and Infantino, but they never used it. So,
Oh, that was stupid on them because I don't mean to insult any of the fine people at Hero, but Savannah is by far my favorite. I think it is a perfect comic book design. The name, the costume, the power set, it does the trifecta perfectly. So you know what? It's best that they didn't take it because then they would have owned it. You got a great character over there to work with.
yeah, I'm glad. Back then, she was just like a white girl, but now she is modeled, in fact, on an actual actress from our TV show, Janika Johnson, who was the first person to play her. It's modeled after her. And so, she has a very specific origin and power set now, modeled after Janika playing the role in our video.
Oh, you're breaking up there. Did we lose it? Did we lose you, HB?
Yeah, he's just on that delay.
Okay.
I'm
All right.
here.
Well, okay. Well, since you brought up the actors, I guess this is a logical point to explain to us what exactly Heroinberg is for those of us who do not know. Well, I know, but those of us watching who do not know.
Yeah, thanks. Heroinberg is a live action television show filmed entirely in Pittsburgh that also became a comic book. It has 2 seasons of episodes, 21 episodes, and it has 3 comic books. And it is basically a fantastic version of the Steel City, Pittsburgh, where about 30 women have superpowers. And some are good, some are bad. They have spandex and capes adventures. And yeah, it's has a very 1980s type of feel with what is called good girl art, and emphasizes both the power and the beauty of each character. And all of them have diverse and deep backstories.
Oh yeah. Uh, uh, I remember when you first reached out and started talking to me. I got it wrong. I said it was cosplay, and I was glad to be wrong. You sent me a couple episodes. You know, it's full on scripted shows, correct?
Yes. I like to say that it's kind of like watching the CW, except each episode is made for $1,000 instead of $1 million.
Okay. Do you write the episodes?
I
Tony
do,
Dines
and also the comics.
and
Yes?
Marvin, are you part of Heroineburgh also?
Yes.
Okay.
I play a character on the show, and I'm the second camera.
Oh, okay. So you're a cameraman, and you're also the writer for this comic over here that I'm going to show, the Edge.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. HB
Woo!
kindly sent me a copy of that when we were talking about coming on. I guess I'll talk about this for a second. He sent this to me, and I got to say, I really enjoyed it. You know, and
Cool.
HB will tell you that I'm kind of brutally honest with my reviews. I was like, I was very surprised. One of the things I really dug about it was the art, and I really liked the way technology was drawn. That's one of my comic book geek things. Is I love like ships and crafts and motorcycles, and I gotta say it is really well drawn.
Thank you.
And that's Mark V is the artist.
Correct.
Yeah, and how so you I can't even speak. You are a co-writer with HB. Do you guys like know each other growing up, or is this something?
No, what did we meet? 2019?
Oh wow,
like
okay.
4 years? Yeah.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Oh, who's
Oh
talking?
no. Yeah, we met. Basically about 4 years ago at this point. And we found that we had. We found that we had a lot of interest in common, and we formed a friendship and also a group called Comicsburg, which is a group of Pittsburgh comic book creators. With there's 4 or 5 people in it, all who self-publish their own books. That's the logo of Comicsburg, which Marvin's friend designed. You've got a bridge. It has lots of bridges. Of course, got the black and gold colors of all the sports teams. So that kind of represents Pittsburgh, Comicsburg. And besides myself, Heroineburgh, and Marvin with the Edge, there's also Theme of Thieves and Beowulf and Music Maker.
Okay. These
Or
are all your local
showcases of various local events.
Oh, cool. And I remember you said to me that Heroineburgh was inspired by FemForce, the AC Comics, Bill Black. I'm a big fan of them. I've been buying back issues of FemForce. I don't know.
I guess second to say George Perez and John Byrne.
Oh,
hello. Yeah. I guess second to like.
When you said George Perez and John Byrne, I had to give homage to the 2 greatest comic book superhero artists of all time. Yeah.
Correct.
Those are
second to them. I would say FemForce is a big influence. Just the way the materials present. Some of what we do is similar to FemForce. their book was took place in a real city in Orlando, where Bill Black lives, right? That was their headquarters. And so in the same way as that, Pittsburgh is the head of the superhero universe in our books. Yes.
Yeah, that's I find that most of the comic book creators always base their creations in their hometowns, like the Tick is in Boston. Everything Marvel and DC is in New York, and you guys are in Pittsburgh. So let me ask both of you, answer whoever you want. Do you have like a grand vision? Is there a grand story, or do you just do issue at a time? Like The Edge, you have a story. There's an arc going on, but is this like a 30-issue story? Is this a 6-issue story?
So it is broken up in arcs. So right now, I think we're into the 4th arc in the creation process. So it'll be an ongoing story. And I mean, originally we did have an ending in mind, but we were having so much fun with it, and people were enjoying it so much.
Why end it?
We just keep moving it along until people tell me they're sick of it.
I have issue 1. How many issues do you have so far?
Currently we have 14 issues done.
And then I'm behind. I got to get moving.
Well,
yeah, 3. And then there's three annuals that'll be in between each story arc.
And Heroineburgh Comics, there's 3 issues so far.
Yeah, the comic books are kind of a yearly, basically kind of a supplement to the videos that also can be enjoyed by themselves. So there is issue number 1. So the idea behind the videos is that the first season was origin stories, and then the formation of the League, right? And then the second season was the League fighting an evil group of villains. And I won't tell you how season 2 ends, but there's a big cliffhanger and lots of anticipation. So you got stories in season 1, you have origins. In season 2, you have multiple plot threads in each show, like a CW show. The comic books themselves are very much like late 70s, early 80s books, which, as you remember, usually had a front story and a back story.
Yeah.
And they usually would resolve within 1 or 2 issues, right? So you could easily pick up, as a kid, you could easily pick up almost any book and be wowed by the art and all of the powers being used. And the same is true with Heroineburgh Comics. Rather than make it some kind of overreaching arc, and Marvin has several story arcs for The Edge about the drug that gives people powers. But our books are more kind of like, they're almost like an annual issued for the videos in a way.
Okay, that makes sense.
But
so
the good thing about it is, if you get you don't have to know anything about the show to enjoy the comics, because the comics are self-contained. Sense. They're stories that don't appear in the show.
Okay, because like you said, you're coming out with 1 a year, and Marvin, how long is it from issue 1 to issue 14? How long has this been out?
So since we're in Diamond and we're also doing direct, I'm actually getting ready to release issue 6 next month, and then issue 7 in July. So I mean, I can release things monthly, but I usually do quarterly, just to give a little bit of space in between each book.
Okay. All right, that makes sense then. So does your comic have a TV show also?
No, not yet.
Oh, not yet. Okay. Do you need a dashing leading man? I'm available. Although I probably look more like a villain.
Marvin might need that. Cool. He does have some cool stop motion trailers with some fun music in them.
Oh, cool. Now, so both of you guys are long-term. I get the HB. I get the feeling you and I are probably closer in age than Marvin and I. Marvin's a youngin. And you mentioned some old school stuff that I'm sure people don't even remember. Do you remember the superhero roasts and the Power of Shazam TV show? With the Mentor and Billy Batson in the van. That was those were some great TV shows. and Mighty Isis, yeah.
And the roast, yeah, those were from the 70s. That's kind of more a boomer thing than an X thing, I guess. But I do remember what they were. they had a lot of really bad costumes, like really bad Black Canary or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, I have a fondness for them. I guess things from my youth. Now, you guys, do you make the costumes? Do the actresses make the costumes? Like, how do you go about producing all the cool stuff? Hey, Eddie.
Yeah. So the costumes are derived from a bunch of professionally made sources. There was a Los Angeles based superhero combat series that I bought a bunch of costumes from and then
Okay.
redid them and modified them. I also got a few from cosplayers around the country, unique designs. But yeah, basically I design the costume and sometimes I have a seamstress put on logos or add elements, and of course they have to fit the actress. So sometimes we have to tailor it to the person wearing the uniform. But yeah, I design the costumes and have people work on them for us. Yes.
Do you come up with the characters, or the characters just like situational based on the costumes that you get?
No, well, both. To some extent,
Makes
a
sense.
few of the characters were based on the costumes somewhat, but then you flesh out, like I said, deep and diverse aspects of each character. All of them are from a certain neighborhood in Pittsburgh. Many have a certain ethnicity or come from a specific subculture. A lot of them have
Yes.
very specific jobs like reporter, computer programmer, veterinarian,
Yeah. I
inventor, stuff like that. A
I
lot of them
remember
are
I had to ask you.
scientists. We have a lot of female scientists who somehow,
Well, that goes hand in hand with being a
yeah,
superhero. How many superheroes are scientists? That's part of the genre.
uh, yeah, exactly. So, science tends to give you powers in this universe. In fact, in our universe, and I think Marvin, is there magic in your universe? Or
Well, I mean, it's the edge, and it looks
Yes.
like it can look like magic because why? Because we're going what we do is we're going to go backwards in time a little bit and show that like werewolves and vampires and witches were all the edge.
Oh, okay. So that's
oh,
the unifier in your universe
so
is this
Yes.
yeah, so
super steroid.
so it, right. So in Marvin's and my universe, both everything is actually scientific, even if it seems magical. So let's call that Arthur C. Clarkean, right?
Okay. Advanced science that appears as sorcery.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Marvin,
So
I
Mhm.
for example,
oh, okay.
in our universe, a meteor. Oh, oh, in our
Go ahead.
universe, a dark energy meteor gives people powers. So that's like the TV show The Flash. Dark energy gives everybody powers. So that's similar. But yeah, I mean, even though it seems like magic or it's advanced, yeah, it's still all scientific explanations.
As far as the actresses, do you are they all come back? Is it rotating? Is it difficult to keep the same you know professional actresses back in your shows? What's going on? My phone's acting weird.
The short answer to that is yes. But yeah, the some of the actresses have been with us for several years, or even from the beginning, because we're now going on 6 years. And some characters have been played by several rotating
Yeah,
people. Obviously, we try to keep them looking, as same as possible. But yeah, we have some rotators and some people who are veterans in the
and
series.
some people got
We get them
like they
from
left to.
we started getting them initially. Yeah, we started getting them initially from the Pittsburgh music scene. So
Oh,
there are some actresses who are actually musicians or singers in bands, and
okay.
I think that's one of the best ways to get people for amateur stuff because they don't have like an attitude about themselves. They know that they're just having fun and it's campy because they're in a band, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's a
If
fun thing to do.
we got some people from theater and improv comedy and and
That's
burlesque. Yeah, and so different styles of acting, different approaches to presenting the material, depending on what art pursuit that they come from. The one thing that I would be careful of is this is not true for every single cosplayer, but a lot of cosplayers are not suited to act. There are some that are, and we've had a few successes, but there's a lot that aren't, and just they really love posing, but when it comes to open their mouth and learn a few lines and be reliable, it's a little difficult. So yeah, I wouldn't say that about everybody, though. There are exceptions.
One of my buddy teaches films over at a college nearby, and everybody's always making superhero short movies, and I always get cast as a bad guy, and they all say the same thing. Wow, you actually listen to directions and memorize your lines. Is that a problem? I could, a lot of amateur, like you said, people just want to pose and look cool.
Yeah, I try to discourage. I mean, there's a lot of ad-libbing. I don't mind if the ladies ad-lib and inject some of their personalities because they, a lot of the characters are based around their real personalities, which is nice. But yeah, I mean, you got to follow the script. I don't make anybody, memorize 18 pages. We film in short segments of 3 to 4 lines each. So all people have to really do is get a gist of the plot and then memorize 3 to 4 lines at a time, and they're good.
Both Marvin, you said you're the cameraman. Is this your first film foray, both of you guys?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I never thought that I wanted to do like acting and filming things like that. But I mean, it's a lot of fun. It's different. It wasn't something I was prepared to do, so that made it interesting.
Oh, how could it not be fun? It looks like a blast. People dressed up in costumes and punching the crap out of each other. Sounds like a great way.
Well, I don't get to punch anybody. I get to get punched.
Oh, well, me too. I'm always the bad guy in my friends' films. Always the bad guy. Yeah, I've been knocked down.
Yeah, so Marvin actually plays. If you looked at the, you like Savannah, right?
Yeah, that's right. I like them all.
Like
There's quite a few of them that I actually like, but Savannah's my breakout. I feel bad saying that because I'm not trying to hurt anybody else's feelings.
So Marvin's character is in the comic. He plays her drug dealer who hooks her on the rock that gives her the powers. And currently, Marvin is still alive. Savannah hasn't killed him yet, and he'll be coming back in season 3. But
so Marvin, you're friends with Savannah's sister?
Yes.
Yeah. Classic cat fight, right?
Right.
Yeah. So, Marvin, you again. Here's your comic, The Edge. I really enjoyed this. I should do a showcase on it soon. Is this a comic that you've had an idea for a long time? Is this like a lot of people like they have a burning desire to do a comic since they were a child? What about you? What's your story?
I would say that the idea came about, like I said, when Image Comics was formed, because before that, all I knew was Marvel, DC, and maybe a little bit of Dark Horse. But when Image was formed, I thought, hey, well, these guys can go out and do their own comic. Let me do mine. And I will say that right up front that it was awful what I originally put together. It was pretty bad. It was terrible. And I would say that it took until the early 2000s before I thought it was good. And that's actually when I joined forces with Mark to do the art. And I don't think it was ever gelled together before then. Like he brought a lot of ideas and a lot of thoughts to the story, that's things that I missed.
Okay.
And it's just, there's some situations like when we're talking about something and I'm like, man, that's a really good idea. Let's do that with that character and take the character in this direction, because we like to mess with the characters a lot in the book.
Yeah,
we take their powers away from them.
Through their paces. Yeah,
right. Well, if you know, one of the things that we talk about is how the powers it's not muscle memory, so they can't always remember how they work. So there'll be times when they're trying to use them and they don't work, or it's something they weren't expecting to happen.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah, they can't be perfect and flawless, otherwise, where's the fun in that? Yeah.
So, like with our Blaine character, he can create a shield around himself, similar to the Invisible Woman, but there's no oxygen in the shield.
Oh, that's a clever so it's limited.
Right, and then it doesn't protect him from outside elements. So if it's hot, if if there's like a fire nearby, it's going to heat up the oxygen inside the bubble. Or if it's cold, of course, it's going to be colder in there. If he falls into water, he can't keep the shield up forever.
Yeah, so if he's walking through a minefield and bomb, bomb,
right.
he's on a timer.
Right.
Oh, that is real. I've been saying a lot in my videos that I love when superheroes have like a logical consequence, a logical weakness. Like that was one of the things that I didn't like about DC as a kid, like the weaknesses, like Green Lantern, yellow. Yeah. But then that's why I gravitated towards Marvel. Peter Parker would run out of money and he would run out of web fluid, and this became like a thing. So I find that is an awesome idea. Yeah. You put up a force field and you're just like, this better stop soon. Man.
And each characters, their powers have some kind of weakness associated with it, where it's not just someone absorbing something and then they run out of energy like a battery. Then what do you do? Right. Or it's based on confidence. If I'm not feeling very confident about it, I don't know. I can't use these powers.
And that's cool, because who knows what you wake up and you got some bad news. Your wife fought with you and you're going off to fight the bad guy. And that is awesome. That is really cool.
So I mean, it's a test of their humanity, and like you said before, is that eventually the powers are going to burn them out, and they're going to either go insane or going to die.
Oh, so besides their weaknesses, is it like a drug that they get addicted and it can overburn out, or just the fact that they take the edge? Once you take the edge, that's it. You're a lit fuse.
It's a ticking clock, and some of them don't even know that they've been dosed with the edge. So it's, yeah.
Oh, okay. That there was a comic in the 60s called the Thunder Agents. Mm-hmm. Are you familiar with that comic at all?
Yes.
Are you familiar with Lightning?
Yes.
Once you wore the lightning suit, you knew you were dead sooner or later.
Right. It is Strike Force Moratori was the same thing.
Oh, perfect.
Strike Force. I was going to say.
That is really cool. I'm excited now. I gotta. So the 6 issues out right now that I got the first issue.
Issue 6 is up on the site right now for pre-order. That's going to be released. We're doing a special cover for Three Rivers Comic Con in June.
Oh, cool.
So now, it'll be on the site a couple of days after.
Showing you cover.
Yes.
In issue 1 though, it says, because I'm a completist, it says the story thus far.
Yes.
So where can I get the story before issue number 1?
Well, the story, when I say the story thus far, is the story that you're reading now.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe there was an issue 0 someplace, no. or maybe you were in a. Okay.
There will be stuff in the past. We'll be going back into the past before our current era. So just as a hint, we're going back into like King Arthur's time, like Camelot, like that.
So you're talking. You're a world builder then.
Yeah.
And you and Mark built this world, or is this what you had as a child?
Well, I mean, it's something that built over time, and like I said, that he's brought ideas to the table, like with the mystic character, where like we've talked about, and it's the swords, and these swords, like do these swords have history before Mystic came along? And you'll see that as the more he's using these swords, the more the swords influencing him, and as his like, why is this guy wearing knight armor as his costume? There's a reason for that. The sword's talking to him and it's telling him this is what you have to wear. And then as we move forward in the story, you'll start to see why, because the sword has a past.
Okay, that's cool. I love a grand story. I like. Yeah. So HB, is there a gigantic world in Heroineburgh? Is there a past?
Yeah, well, Heroineburgh basically has a year 0 or year 1, which is the meteor explosion. So everything happens with relation to how that affected the women in the city. And Pittsburgh becomes the world center of superheroes, although there are some outside. We have cameos from a few different other series that appear in some of our episodes, but primarily, Pittsburgh is where the explosion happened, and so the women who get the powers that night, that is only the first wave, though, because in addition to the women who got the powers from the radiation bombardment, then what happens is there are a bunch of meteorites that break off of that big meteor that exploded. They
Makes
land
sense.
around the city, and they have the tendency to give women powers as well, but to turn them evil. So then the good guys have to go around trying to collect these rocks and prevent a lot of villains from being created.
Yeah.
And in meanwhile, the villains themselves are trying to stop the heroes and discredit them so that they lose their funding and their recognition from the city, because if the villains are able to run free, then they can commit whatever crimes they want, and police can't really stop them. But if the city continues to endorse the heroines officially and give them a place to have their headquarters, the heroine like the super police. So
Right.
yeah, so in season 2 we have kind of a continuous conflict between the Heroine League and the group called the Black Faction, which suffers from a coup as one of the good heroines turns evil and uses her science to increase her powers manyfold and takes over the bad group. And yeah, I don't want to tell you what episode 21 does, which is the season 2 finale, but there is some there's some setbacks, shall we say. Yeah, so kind of 2 waves of getting the powers, and not everybody stays on the same side. Some switch, some turn evil, and some are a little bit unpredictable, kind of anti-heroes that kind of operate more on their feelings, like rage or anger and stuff. And so they're not really in it for justice as much as just destroying or killing. Yeah.
Let's be realistic. Let's just say
we do have one character, like Marvin said, that even operates on confidence. Vendetta, the one who is.
That's a great name. That is a great name. I love some good superhero name, Vendetta.
Yeah,
Perfect.
we're not the first person to use it, but I mean, we're not the first person to use Vendetta, but she's kind of like a super ninja, an Italian super ninja. I like to say she's a cross between Huntress and Mockingbird, right?
Perfect.
But
yeah.
The more confident she is, the harder she is to beat. She gets stronger and more skillful in fighting, and if she doubts herself, or if she is hit by fear, in trouble or in peril. Yeah.
Yeah. You got Savannah, Vendetta. What was the Artica is another great name, and Poderosa. You said that was a Spanish like a homage to Power Girl.
It's more than that. Poderosa is a direct homage to George Perez. So she is a Puerto Rican superheroine. She's kind of a combined character between Lois Lane and Power Girl. But her name is Rosa Perez. She's a TV reporter for the station who gets superpowers. And you're sharing something.
Yeah, the red dot came up. I thought you wanted me to share. Did I do it? Did I do it too soon?
Suddenly you're sharing. First, I can show you.
Did I do this too soon? Should I clear this?
We are. So I'll just tell you about these 16. No, it's coming up.
Okay, cool.
You can just leave it there. Hold on.
Okay, you got it.
And do you see that now? That is comic number 1, right?
Yep, that looks awesome.
So right there, you mentioned Arctica. She's at the front. All of these cover art is done by Jason Wright. Jason Wright is a guy who is a master colorist for DC. He has almost 700 credits with DC Comics over the past 20 years. And he also works for Shane Davis with Inglorious Rex and Starlight Cats.
Okay.
But yeah, this is Jason Wright's front cover. You can see Arctica right at the front using her ice powers. You have Lunessa, Spectrina, and Ex Machina in the back.
Ex Machina, that's another one of my favorites.
Oops, sorry. Hold on. Right, yeah, she has a little bit of an X-Men, Kitty Pryde, Magneto type vibe. This is issue number 2 cover. As we talked about Savannah and Vendetta on the bottom. And then on the top, we have Poderosa, the Puerto Rican superwoman who's like Power Girl. She has a P on her chest. And the number 16 is because she works for Channel 16. She's a professional superhero that the TV station pays to represent them.
Okay.
And on the right is Jania. She is the Lebanese Arabic superwoman, kind of a cross between Supergirl and Mighty Isis, I guess.
Okay.
And then here is our new issue, number 3. You have this is all villains on the cover. We gave
Right.
we gave the villains a little spotlight here. You have Panthira, Fenica, Devora, and Chlorina going around in a clockwise motion, and they're all featured in that issue. And now I'm going to show you a preview of stuff coming up. Here we go.
Oh, okay. Sneak
Oh,
peek.
wait! Before we do that, this is the back of issue 3. This is the
Yeah.
famous indie comic hero Don Simpson,
I'm
who
a
did
big fan
Devana
of
the
Don
Huntress.
Simpson.
Yeah, Devana is the Slavic answer to Xena, I guess. She's kind of like a Xena warrior woman, and she's Slavic Serbian. She fights with a bow staff. You can see that there. So here's our art coming up from issue 4, which is going to be coming soon in the fall. There is Hellfira. This is by Ben Barnett, who does the interior. He's working on that one. Hellfira, she is the heavy metal superhero who sends fire. She's super strong and sends fire from her hands. This is Kali Yuga, the Indian supervillainess. She has the power to destroy anything with blasts of great intensity, and she's also a geologist. So she's the one who collected the meteorites, and she's always trying to collect more to increase her power. She wants to become a goddess, basically.
Okay. Well, that's what
her
that
aspiration is to really become a powerful goddess. So she uses the stones to do that. This is Wayne Brown, our other interior artist. This is something he's working on for issue 4. This is Sabrina. She's our cyberpunk heroine. Her powers are electricity and traveling through the internet. And here she's battling some drone robots with her Kirby Crackle energy there.
Yeah. She's got a great costume.
And and this is first time anybody's seen this.
Oh.
This is Jason Wright's issue number 4.
Cool.
And there you have Hellfire and Sabrina in the front, and Kali Yuga and Ex Machina turned evil in the background. And in the back of that, there is the building called Cathedral of Learning, which is the university building near University of Pittsburgh. And in our universe, their headquarters is on the top 2 floors of that building.
That's a real building?
I'm sorry?
That's a real building?
The Cathedral of Learning is a 52-story building. It's the second tallest university building in the world.
Oh, okay.
Yep, and it's right in the middle of the University of Pittsburgh. This is a brand new sticker by Jason Wright. Ta-da! It's going to actually debut at Heroes Con in Charlotte in June.
That looks cool. That's awesome.
Yes, this is the secret new hero version of Captain Peggy. She is kind of like a Maggie Sawyer of our universe, kind of, the hard-nosed detective cop.
Yeah.
And after a while, she finds that she's not getting enough results behind her badge, so she convinces one of the villains to fall. He falls in love with her and designs a costume for her, and she becomes Vigilante, Mistress of the Night. And as you can see, she's got a little bit of Batwoman and Nightwing colors there.
That's a great costume. Simple and elegant. That's the way to do a superhero costume.
Exactly. So she's a little bit like a cross between Batwoman, Nightwing, and of course Adrian Chase, Vigilante, right?
Yep.
And so now I'm going to show you the some costumes from the upcoming episode 22, which will be out at the end of June. Here we have Lunessa, the evil version of Savannah. She turns evil here, and Serpenta, who is a villainess who is snake powered. And this actress Jessica, she is Indonesian, and she plays basically kind of the archetype, the stereotype kind of the snake goddess of India and Southeast Asia, kind of the Naga character. She plays like a Naga goddess, like a Naganya character. Yeah,
that's cool.
And this is Fenica versus Devana, our actual actresses. This is going to come up in 22. Tara and Casey are the actresses here. This is Vendetta, played by Mauricia, and Gabriel on the right playing Pagliaccia, the Mistress of Fear, the Clown Princess of Fear. I kind of combined. It's a little Red Riding Hood, as you can see, but I also combined elements of the Joker, the Scarecrow, and Harley Quinn into one badass villainess.
That
so
name,
this one,
that's like an old stock like a character from Italian film, right?
Oh yeah. So Pagliacci is
Yeah.
is
Yeah,
the
I'm big
Italian
on
clown.
superhero
So we
names
just
and stuff.
turned her female. Actually, we used a little bit of an opera of the opera thing from Luciano Pavarotti, who sang for that character, right?
Yeah.
And we used that in one of the episodes when she turns. So here is Chlorina on the right, and Arctica in her alternate form as Quanta, the queen of quantum physics. We're going to use a lot of Q's in that episode. A lot of things beginning with Q.
Okay.
It'll be fun. That's Bridget, and Bridget has had the a unique privilege to play now 3 characters in our series: Arctica, Quanta, and also a space pirate called Barbarina, which is a takeoff on Barbarella.
Yeah.
And, you'll see it coming up. Here we go. Yeah, there she is. So there she is, Barbarina. She is shooting our villain, which is played by Ben Barnett, who also is our interior artist. He's a very good villain.
Don't burn his hands. He can't draw your comics if you burn his hands out.
I know. That luckily that's just CGI, but this is an example of one of our customs. So far, we've had 9 customs, which are mini episodes scripted by fans and paid for by the fans.
Oh, cool.
And so this is custom number 9, Barbarina, the space pirate. And this is custom number 8, where Kali Yuga and Scintilla battle it out for some of those meteorites I was talking about. Scintilla is like kind of our Catwoman character. She's a thief, but she also has the power to see a few seconds into the future. So it's very hard to attack her because she knows what you're going to do most of the time.
Yeah, that's a cool
and
ability.
Here's the final great photo. Here's Marvin from The Edge, Grant from Beowulf, and DP from Theme of Thieves, along with Jess Z, who plays Chlorina. This was just this past Saturday. We celebrated Free Comic Book Day with our friends at New Dimension, and there's some of the books that were available.
Oh, cool. Now you said you pretty much have it costs like $1,000 or so per episode. How do you pay for that? Is it like how would I watch Heroineburgh and
how do we pay?
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh. Should I close down your preview screen?
Right. Okay, can you hear me there?
Yeah, I lost you for a second.
Okay, I'm gonna switch to this screen here and blow this up.
Okay.
Hold on one second, and then I'll tell you how people order the stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. There we go. Oh, sorry. I'm gonna try it again one more time. Here we go,
Marvin. How you hold your breath? And Marvin, you said you're gonna try to do episodes 2, live action.
I mean, I think that my things what we want to do would probably be better as an animated series.
Oh wow! And that is cool. That is cool. You can do it. Yeah. You
do it with anything in animation.
Yeah, animation. I guess because I'm seeing laser beams and bless. What's going on here?
Yeah, he was with that delay and that the slow.
Yeah.
He's want me to share that.
So Marvin, while he's
okay, I stopped sharing.
Oh, okay. I was about to ask you, Marvin.
Hello?
I see like an anime influence in The Edge.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said before, G.I. Joe is like if you open up the book in that first page,
right?
The Arctic base in the middle of nowhere.
I got to show that.
Serious influence from G.I. Joe.
Yeah, I really do. I said it before, and I'll say it 20 more times. I really do like the technology, and now I'm really more intrigued when you told me that the fact that they take these superpowers is a slow death sentence. That adds a lot of gravitas and a lot of pathos to the characters.
Right, and then it's even better. They don't even know. So,
and let me ask. Well, I don't know if you want to spoil it or not, but I assume the cast of characters has to change then through the course of the comic.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. That you don't have to spoil anything.
Well, we're introduced to. I'll say we're introduced to a character in issue 5 called Chaos, who's infected. He's fully infected. He uses his powers like he doesn't even care.
That's a great name. Then that's a great name. Okay.
So
Yes.
I have a folder I can share some stuff
Oh,
in.
sure.
So let me do share screen.
Oh, hello.
Hopefully mine
Video.
doesn't drag out. Let me know when you can see.
Okay, so I got to add that to screen.
Yep.
There we go. Hey, I'm learning too.
So we're sharing?
Yep.
Cool. So one of the things that we always wanted to do when we were starting this was to reach out to other indie creators and say, hey, do you want your character repairing the edge? So this is one of our later villains that's watching these other heroes from other universes.
Oh, okay. Oh, so he has the technology to peer through dimensions?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
And this is one of our just promotional pieces with the main team. We just call them the strike team.
Okay.
So you've got from left to right, Blaine, Interim, Mystic, Shift, then him, Bolt, Randa, and Spinoff.
Okay.
And we call him Spinoff because he's able to use other people's abilities.
Oh, okay. All right. That's pretty cool. That's pretty clever.
And just this week, we announced our action figure, Blaine.
Oh, wow.
So this is the prototype. So we'll be going into production pretty soon.
Oh, wow. That is. Have you had it in your hand yet? Did you get the prototype and get the
not yet. I just got the images so far.
Oh, I can only imagine when you get your character in your hand as an action figure, you're going to be like a little kid.
Yeah.
and look. Oh, wait. Oh, his elbows and knees bend. How many points of articulation is on that?
25.
Oh my God. Oh
so
my God.
It's got the arm joints, the wrist joints. It's got a what's a double joint on the neck. Oh. Then it's got a rocker ankle also.
Oh, that is awesome. Awesome.
Which you generally don't see this in this is like a G.I. Joe scale, so 1/18 scale. You usually only see this in the 1/12 scale, the 6 inches.
Okay. Oh, so this is what, 3.5 inches tall?
Yes.
Oh my God, that's that articulated at that scale?
Yeah. That's what made me so excited about it when we were talking about it. So this is Loose Collector. I don't know. You may have seen.
I'm a 54-year-old man, and I'm excited.
They did a Vampirella figure. They did a She figure for Billy Tucci.
Oh wow!
So they're covering the whole entire indie.
They also did Darna.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And they're doing a Rocketeer figure. I think it was just announced recently.
Don't make me start collecting action figures again.
So then we have these are like our trading cards.
That is cool. That is cool. That is cool.
And then
now, Marvin.
So I like to talk because her abilities is she can create portals which people can step through. So we call them step portals, like for transportation.
Okay.
But she's been opening these things since she was like 7, and now they're too powerful for her to close. So where she's from Brazil. The area where she's from is out of sync with time.
Oh, okay.
So you'll be walking towards her home, and it'll be noon, and then all of a sudden it'll be midnight.
Oh, okay. She's messing with the fabric of space time.
Yes.
Okay, that's like, again, I love logical weaknesses that make sense. You know, it's not the color yellow.
Yes.
it's a logical weakness. That's cool.
So this is Mystic with his swords. So this is just his little kick 'em up. There was only one sword previously, so the swords they've split into 2 because of him.
Okay.
This is the character I was talking about before, Chaos, where he's infected.
Yeah, that's a great name. So he's just a troublemaker then.
Yes.
Yeah.
This was so the story with the character, the lead kind of villain in the first arc is named Revenant, and he has a power similar to Multiple Man from the X-Men, only it's from his own blood. So if he bleeds, he creates duplicates.
Okay. Yeah, that is really cool and creepy at the same time. So how do you beat him? I guess you got to strangle him.
Yeah. So this is another of the images for the when we were doing the all-in kind of story with all these other indie characters.
Yeah. Good.
And
real good.
This is our character roster. I think up until issue 16, all these characters will appear in the book.
Okay, so you got this planned ahead because you said issue 6 is being solicited now, right?
Yes.
Okay, and again, how would I pick up? How would people watching pick up your comics?
The books are available on my website, theedgecomic.com. They are
Okay.
also in comic shops. Issue 2 comes out through comic shops in June.
Okay. Cool.
So you can either wait till it comes in stores, or you can pick it up right now.
Okay, cool. That's a great shot. I like that.
This was the cover to one of our first trades that we put out that's been discontinued. So we've got a brand new trade coming.
And how long does it take you to make a full issue?
6 months to a year.
Okay.
Yeah, we're really far ahead. So like I said, we've been like working up towards this point for like the last since like 2007. So we got a lot of yeah.
Oh wow! So you've been working for a long time, and now that must have been so cool to actually see your first issue hit the shelves.
Yes.
Yeah, and
we consider Blaine, Mystic, and Interim to be our trinity, like Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. So this is they usually get all the cool shots.
Oh yeah. That is cool. Looks good.
So this is just like place cards or like a corner box on the cover.
All right, that is great. I love corner boxes. Let's bring back corner boxes on everybody.
Yeah. And this is for the first page of issue 1.
Yep. I'm looking at it as you're showing it. Yep. Yeah. I was really impressed with issue number 1. I really did like it. You know, I'll do a showcase on it now that I got it out.
So this was a cover done by an artist, Netho Diaz. He's working at Marvel now. He's doing Predator.
Okay.
We have a trading card, like we have parts of a trading card game called Scattered Nexus. We're also working on our own. The same person who did Scattered Nexus is also going to work on an Edge.
Okay.
Like conversion.
Okay.
So these are what the cards look like.
Yeah.
And then that's Revenant against causing trouble. And this is pages later in issue 1.
Yep.
And then I always talk about this page, and you see that Blaine's hair is different. It was the only thing that we've ever really changed. The same conversation we had with Mark about his hair. I didn't like his hair long like that. So in the first issue, we burned his hair off.
Okay.
And then he comes back with the anime point hair.
Okay. All right.
This is more from issue 1.
And who does your coloring? Because your colors are outstanding.
Our primary colorist is Luis Antonio Delgado. He normally works for IDW. He does Ghostbusters and Ninja Turtles.
Okay. And because good coloring could make or break a comic.
Right. Well, I mean that's the one thing that we try to kind of get that information out, is that it's a whole entire team. You need good pencils, you need good writing, you need good inks, you need good coloring, and you need good lettering.
Yes, lettering is very underrated, if you ask me.
Any part of that could break the whole thing. So in an issue of the book, or one of our annuals called Rush, Blaine comes back to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is his hometown, and Marcus Drake it has an office in Pittsburgh, and then the other character is Mark Drake, which is a character from Heroineburgh.
Okay.
So there'll be a Heroineburgh Edge crossover coming.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We just happened to name 2 characters with almost the exact same name, so they had to meet.
Now, is in the continuity of Heroineburgh and the continuity of the Edge, are they in the same world?
So it's going to be one of those blink you miss it things.
Okay.
Where I'm kind of going to ignore the consequences of those 2 universes smashing into each other.
Yeah.
We're going to try to keep it like there's going to be some scenes in it. They're going to be Heroineburgh like, where it's going to have that camp to it. Like we're going to continuously see 2 of the characters of Heroineburgh fighting in the background of the continuous pages. So you'll go to the next page, and then next page, and then you'll see them fighting in the background. You'll go 4 pages later, and then they're fighting in the background still.
Okay. Because I was gonna say in Heroineburgh, it's only women that get superpowers, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I was gonna say, I get what you know.
So this was one of our variants for issue 2.
Okay, I like the colors in that.
This is our villains cover, and you see the character in front there. This is Vol, and her costume is actually a dormant alien creature.
Oh, okay, okay.
So everything from her crown to her non-pants is an alien creature.
Okay, and what's that guy in the background? That big guy.
That is Rahab. So
Okay.
he is metallic,
Okay, cool.
but but he's rusting from the outside in.
Oh, again, I really I love that. So poor guy. He's on a clock. He's rusting
right
from the outside in.
Right.
Oh,
so
man.
you've got here Rahab, then Revenant, Vol, Azael, Chaos, Celios, and then this is Marcus Drake, and this is Renard Edgerton. At Renard, so you see that his name has
Fox.
something of the edge in it. So there's a reason for that. We won't talk about that now.
Okay.
So Edgerton, yes.
Yes. So you notice that all of this team is called. This is the Reign of Chaos. So the name of the team is the Reign, and they're led by Chaos. So it's the Reign of Chaos. So it has a double meaning.
Okay.
So that's actually the name of the second story arc is Reign of Chaos.
All right. Sacred Geek asks, who's the villain cover artist?
This is Mark. All the art is Mark.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So and then all of his team are named or have the names of fallen angels.
Oh, okay. All right. I they sounded familiar, and I didn't want to make myself sound dumb. And so thank you for saying that. Okay. Cool.
And this was we did a special issue 1 cover for the Kickstarter, which was a prismatic cover. This was the prismatic cover.
Oh, that is cool.
So you put it in the sunlight, and it's real shiny.
Oh, cool. That oh man, I'm excited now. That looks good. Do you make up all the characters, or do you and your artist?
Yeah. So I mean, I like it's one of those things where I come up with a name of a character and give them like a backstory, and then I let Mark's brain work on the design. And like I said, that it's very rare that once he shows me something, I said, that's that character. We're not changing anything. Let's go.
Okay, cool. That's All right. That's pretty good. Oh, HB, Mr. Heroineburgh.
Yeah.
I was asking you before, and I guess we got a little technical difficulty. How could people access Heroineburgh episodes?
Yeah, I think I was trying to show the video. It never came through, did it?
No, we didn't see it.
Oh, we can do that in a minute, but let's do that in a minute.
Sure.
So, yeah, we have a full complement of social media, of course, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, DeviantArt, YouTube. The YouTube clips are a lot of short outtakes and trailers from our series. And yeah, of course, we have our website, which Heroineburgh, Heroineburgh.com. People download their episodes directly from our website. So buying an episode is just like buying a comic. It's a 30-minute live action comic book that people buy from the website as downloads. So it's not streaming. You can own it forever.
Okay.
And it's you can put it on your hard drive or thumb drive. Usually I take around season 1 and
we lost you at season 1. Oh, here we go. Here's a good, interesting question. Are there any galactic level characters in the future out of Warlock Galactus type characters?
In the Edge?
I guess either or.
So the character who was watching the whole entire universe is I won't say a galactic threat, but he's a universal threat. So, and there's another character we have coming that's pretty brutal. And he's kind of like it's like this one character who doesn't like. So if you read the first issue, you have the God's Thunder group.
Say it again. I lost you for a second.
The God's Thunder group. So the characters who the hostage takers.
Okay.
In issue 1, they hate people with powers, so they want to eliminate them. So they actually have someone that has powers that they're going to let loose, and then they're going to blame it on everyone else.
Right. Yeah. Again, that just think about how scary that would be if you and I are just sitting there watching TV and also we found out that there's a guy who could burst into flames and fly through the air.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how good that person is. Wouldn't it kind of be scary?
Yes.
Yeah. So that to me is realistic. It's realism,
Right.
and that's what I'm digging about your comic. Is a lot of it's about a drug that gives you superpowers, but you throw in a lot of realism in it, and that appeals to me the older I get.
Right.
I guess.
Well, I mean, and then like it's like the one thing I always say is that the story is about escalating. So you go from the first 4 issues with one singular guy, and then all of a sudden you got a whole team, then you got another team and another team, and as people start to join sides, and then you've got this other threat that's watching everything. And he's like, they're becoming. So what I want to say is that there's a reason why you don't hear about werewolves and witches and things like that, like people would have thought about back then, a long time ago, because someone came and wiped them out.
Yeah.
So now the people they're getting too powerful again. So someone's watching. It's like, oh yeah, we're gonna have to do it again.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. I play a role playing superhero game, and that there's like a secret group that when the superheroes get out of control, they come and knock the chess pieces off the board and let you it's kind of like a threat to keep the players from going too berserk.
You were talking about kind of characters of galactic or
yes.
Okay, well, first of all, I just wanted to finish about where to get the comics. You can order the comics from our website or get them at Comic-Cons, or you can get them at about 200 stores. We have a big network of stores we deal with direct that carry the book. They're all listed on the website on a specific list. As far as cosmic characters, well, our characters are all imbued with powers because of a meteor that exploded. So,
where'd the meteor come from?
Where did the meteor come from? We're going to find out, but we may not find out until season 4 because we have to resolve the conflicts on Earth first before we introduce who is from afar giving all these powers to these women on Earth, and why are they doing that? That's a very good point, but we're going to wait probably a year and a half before doing that. Yeah. And yes, there's no supernatural stuff in our book. He was asking about removing supernatural threats. Yeah, everything is explained by science, even if it's really advanced science.
Cool. Sounds good. Sounds good. Now, when you were putting up the stills from the episodes, you had laser blasts and fire beams and stuff. Obviously it's CGI, yeah. But are you learning that on the go, or are you a trained professional film person?
No, actually, I taught myself how to write a comic book. I taught myself how to write a screenplay. I taught myself how to scout locations, make costumes, all those things. So, no, I'm not a professional. I just learned, but I did have some very good advice from a guy who was editing for us for the first couple years. We started the production at a local institution called Pittsburgh Filmmakers, where you could get free camera equipment and free lights and stuff. And that's how this thing started. However, that institution has unfortunately closed after 40 years. It's no longer here. But I was able to, near the end of its existence, get a lot of help, advice, and free equipment from them to give me advice about how to do the TV show. Yeah.
Cool. And do you have like a grand arc? Like, do you have like an end epic story to tell sometime in the future?
Well, for Heroineburgh, each season is its arc. So, like I said, the first season is Origins. The second season is Good versus Evil, and the third season is the reverse.
Right.
After that, we may go cosmic, like I said, but it would be cool to show. Let's see if we can show the episode 21 trailer here. Hold on one second. I'm gonna do that. And you can accept the window. Here we go. And you accepted it?
Yep. There we go. It looks like it's loading up.
Have you accepted it?
Yes, I did. There you go.
Okay. Here comes the trailer, and this is our latest episode, which is available now. Season 2 finale, episode 21.
Okay. Hey, am I doing anything wrong? Well,
Did you share the right tab?
it's talking to me. I just accepted whatever was sent to me.
No, I'm asking
Yeah.
Heroineburgh if he shared the right tab, because he's sharing his window again.
Yeah. So Marvin, you said you had a Kickstarter for your comic.
Yes, I did one last year.
How was that? How did you like that whole process?
I would say that I had anxiety from the moment I pressed the button until it was funded.
I could imagine. It must. Now, were you like looking at it every 10 seconds? Oh, we went up $1.
I clicked the button and I left my home for like 2 hours.
I think I could only imagine that. I think I would be pulling my hair out, and pulling the beard out.
And I left my phone at home, so I wouldn't check it.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, it's a chore. I would say that it's like having a job. It's like a job. Okay. And you're continuously checking it. You're continuously sharing it. You're continuously talking about it. And I would say that after the third day, I was tired of talking about it, and I'm pretty sure everybody else was tired of hearing me talk about it too.
Yeah. Now, and you did fulfillment on your own?
Yes.
So in your house, you had boxes of comics that you were mailing out to everybody?
Yes. That's what's on that. That's what that table is right there. Is the disorganized comics.
How long did that take you to fulfill that?
Actually, I've still got like 5 packages to send out. So
okay.
It ended in November.
Oh, okay.
It's just something that I would probably pay someone to do it.
Okay. It's that much of a pain. I can imagine. Yeah. I can imagine. I was talking. I don't know if you saw, but I talked to Lady Alchemy, Martina Marcoda, and she's 9 months pregnant.
Yeah, I have her book.
Fulfilling comics. I felt so bad for the poor woman.
I would say that look, when you look at it from the outside, you're thinking that, man, why does it take so long? And then once you do one, and you're like, this is why. Like you send out the surveys, and then people don't answer the surveys. And then you send a package out, and the person's like, that's not my right address. Well, you didn't fill out the survey, so how am I supposed to know?
Yeah. I'm remarkably patient with stuff like that. Like I don't know.
I mean, you have to be. And we might do another one for the action figure, and that's going to be fun too to me.
Yeah, that's going to be tough. Yeah.
I mean, but you make it fun though. It was a lesson learned, and I think when I do another one, it'll go a lot smoother than it did the first time.
Yeah, well, it's a learning curve. Now, let me. Is this your? Do you have a day job? Is comics?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I haven't figured out how to talk McFarlane yet.
HB, are you back?
Yeah, I was back. I did it wrong. I'm not good at this. Try this.
What I'm doing
again. Ready? Accept. Go.
Okay, so I'm going to accept your window.
Are you seeing it now?
Yes, I am. Yeah, there we go. I'm seeing. Oh, there we go. I guess it's a little frozen. Eddie asked for a link. I will put all the links when I post this up. If Marvin and HB will send me whatever links they want, I will put them up in the description. I want you guys to make $1 million and make comic books. I think the world would be a better place if everybody was making good comics.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things. Like, we'll make them. People have to read them.
I could only like HB was kind enough to share the edge with me, and now I'm a fan. You know, that's what it takes. Like,
awesome. Appreciate it.
Yeah, he did the right thing.
Yeah.
Now, how would you like spread the word? How do we get comic books into the hands of everybody? Like, don't you find it frustrating that like Guardians of the Galaxy is making $1 billion and comic books are not being sold? I tell the sad story. My buddy came over with his daughters, and I gave them some comics, and they looked right up to me and they went like, "Oh, Uncle John, what's a comic book?" You know, how
I honestly think that's a complete and total failing of both Marvel and I think Warner has figured it out with the Flash, because you see like in the trailer they're splashing comics everywhere at the end of the trailer saying go here, do this, and they're going to start having ads on their Max streaming service. I think that Marvel has completely failed at pushing the audience backwards.
I unfortunately angrily agree with you. You know,
Well,
it's
the other reason is that they're not offering the same thing on the shelves that people see in the movies.
okay. You're hitting all my buttons there. You guys are absolutely right. You know,
Yeah.
We know.
my buddy owned a comic book store, and he said it happened weekly. This is the height of Marvel. This is before Endgame. People would come in like, "Oh, my son likes Thor," and then he goes to get a comic book, and it's Girl Thor, and he's like, "This isn't the movie." And then he's like, I want Spider-Man, and he gets Miles Morales. He goes, "This isn't the guy in the movie." You know.
Well, I think the worst one was when Winter Soldier was out. Oh no, I'm sorry, Civil War was out. You had like Captain America at the height of his popularity, and the Captain America in the comics was Hydra Cap.
Yes. Oh my God. Like,
Yeah.
yes. My blood just boiled when you mentioned that.
They made Cap a Nazi at the exact same time his popularity was huge in the movies.
Talk about shooting yourself in the foot.
Yep.
Oh my God, that angers me to know. And he said the same thing. Like they would buy like a pack of baseball cards or something to justify the trip and never see those people again. This was like a perfect opportunity to you got to rope them in.
So you mentioned John. You mentioned the Jane Foster Thor period. We have a character that is kind of a commentary on that. Her name is Freya. And she, is a German character with a hammer, but she's also a Republican millionaire who owns a chain of fitness gyms.
Okay.
And so she's kind of like a cross between Jane Foster Thor with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Okay.
And so she's kind of our commentary on that whole Jane Foster Thor business there. I mean, if you're going to have a female Thor, then she should be really powerful and not look like Natalie Portman, I guess.
Yeah, I know. In the promos, Natalie Portman looked like she needed help to hold up the prop hammer.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, she's real cute, but she's got arms like spaghetti.
Yeah, no. Our actress Sarah, who plays Freya, is built. Yeah, so.
Now, you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but do the actresses receive a salary, or is this like just a fun thing for them to do?
Some of them get paid, some do not. We never actually break even on anything we do. Incredibly, with regards to the films, people realize that it's a labor of love and a hobby. A lot of the people who've been with us the longest are those who appreciate the amateur hobbyish nature of what we're doing here, even if we're trying to get it up all over the world. But yes, there are some who do. Sometimes you need an actress that you can't find very easily, and if you want them to play the part, you gotta bring them in.
Yeah. Have you lost any actresses to Netflix or Hollywood or whatever?
Well, we had two actresses who were actually aspiring professional actresses. The girl who played Fiona, she left for Los Angeles, and she's now trying to break into the business there.
Okay.
Emily, and the second actress to play Arogya the Healer, the Indian superheroine, Nupur, she moved to New York to try her luck in Brooklyn,
Okay.
and she has actually now an IMDb page and has appeared in 3 or 4 Netflix and Amazon movies and TV shows.
Oh, cool.
And she's just working her way up. And when you live in New York, you got to do what you can to pay the rent. And
Yeah. Well, I
in
live
the
in New York.
meantime, you're trying to get your name around. So yeah, she's definitely joined the professional actress rank in New York. But like I said, and we have some actresses in Pittsburgh who are doing other stuff. They a big genre in Pittsburgh is horror because of the Romero tradition, right?
Okay.
Zombies and horror. So sometimes when our actresses are the ones that do acting regularly, when they're not in Heroineburgh, sometimes they're in local horror films.
Okay, cool.
So there is that. For example, Bridget, who plays Arctica, has been in several locally made films, and she is, definitely one of our best and most talented people.
That's cool. So when they go famous and they're in Law and Order and stuff, could you get them to wear a Heroineburgh T-shirt as they're laying there, like in, well, Marissa Hargrave is like doing the dust around it for fingerprints. We don't know how she died, but she's laying on the ground with the Heroineburgh T-shirt.
Sure. Well, I guess the most famous person who's worn a T-shirt so far would be Bill Black himself from FemForce. I don't know if we can get any dead bodies from Law and Order to wear it, but Bill Black actually wore the Heroineburgh T-shirt on the set of the latest movie he was doing, the She-Cat movie, and yeah, I mean that's very significant and also kind of inspirational for us because one of the reasons we do these episodes is because of the movies that he made in the past 20 years from FemForce, as well as some of the stuff George Perez did on film as well.
Cool. I have to ask you because I'm such a Don Simpson fanboy. How did he get involved in your project?
Well, Don lives in Pittsburgh and he teaches English or writing at a local university. He's still doing comics. Not so much Megaton Man like he started out with, but he has other books, and we see him all the time. He is as ubiquitous as we are at Comic-Cons. Not just in Pittsburgh, but all around the region. We often see him in Ohio or New York or Baltimore. So eventually I just asked him. The reason why having him be there is great is because the idea of Heroineburgh so far is that every single aspect of it is made in Pittsburgh, whether it's me writing the book or shooting everything here, all of the interior and cover artists, all the people who do pinups on the back. Like Howard Bender, for example, is from here. He worked for DC in the 80s.
Yep.
Every single one is from Pittsburgh, and we hope to continue that tradition by maybe asking a few other well-known artists from this area to do work for us as well. But
cool.
The interior artist Ben and Wayne and the cover artist Jason Wright, they're all from Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Cool. And that you're born and raised, both you and Marvin, who turned invisible?
Marvin and I were both born and raised in Pittsburgh, went to high school here. I went to college here. And we, I use in Heroineburgh, both in the comics and in the videos, we use the campus of both Carnegie Mellon and Pitt as stomping grounds for some of the action that takes place. The headquarters of the heroines, as I said earlier, is at the top of the big building at the University of Pittsburgh. In one of our comics, Ex Machina and Arctica fight a gigantic kaiju monster on the lawn of Carnegie Mellon, right. Inadvertently created by some errant formulas, of course, that made a lizard super 100 feet tall. So, does
the city or university help you out?
No, we have not really connected with university or city people, but we have had some luck with local TV stations. The local public television station does a regular showcase on local filmmakers.
Okay.
And they gave us most of an entire episode to show one of their shows to show episode 16 and to interview Alicia, who plays the character Scintilla. She had a very nice interview, and then they showed the entire episode. And apparently, you know how PBS stations like to rerun a lot of things a lot. Apparently, they've rerun it like 4 or 5 times already. Each time they show this on the local public station, somebody lets me know that they've seen it. So that's kind of cool that we actually got on local television. You know, because in a way, we're kind of like the kind of production that you might have imagined us being on public access, right?
You're right.
We're a little bit SCTV or Goth Talk, or, you know, Wayne's World, like brought to life with superheroes. So I would welcome you know, other opportunities to show our stuff in other ways other than download form, you know, like broadcasting and things like that.
Oh, cool. That sounds awesome. You know, that would be funny to have like the local news interview you as in character, like as if real villains were attacking and they were real superheroes saving the day. That would be.
Well, that's the thing. If we were able to, you know, ever to appear on a larger TV station here other than the PBS, we would probably want an actress to appear in costume, at least. You know, they wouldn't have to necessarily act as their character, but they'd definitely want to appear in costume so that people could get a better idea of, you know, what it is like to be an actress. We've had actresses also on some of our live streams, you know, as extra interview people as well.
And I've seen at comic conventions, actresses show up in costume, sign autographs, and do the whole promo thing.
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier to stand out. You have a live action person by your table, walking around, handing things out, and I think it's cool because people, you know, wonder who that is.
Right.
Sometimes they'll guess, "Are you Emma Frost? Are you, you know, are you this or that?" And you know, however they approach us, it opens up a conversation easier and attracts people to the comic. It also doesn't hurt if it's a, you know, a wonderful, beautiful woman in spandex. That is a good asset as well.
Now, what was like, you know, whenever you're filming, things could go wrong. Let's hear like one of your worst mishaps. You know, did somebody wander in and mess up your take, or anything funny you want to share?
Well, I would say one thing about filming DIY and amateur is you got to be resourceful, okay? And I'm not going to talk bad about anyone, but there was one shoot for episode 4 where I made an arrangement with a local store, to actually a jewelry store. We'll say, we won't be that specific, but we were going to rent it out for to simulate a robbery in which Vendetta and Devana would thwart the robbers, right? And the place we rented, we got there and they never opened, even though we had an agreement to rent it.
Oh.
And I had to go with our camera person and all of our characters. We had to find another place on the spot, and I had a backup room, and we quickly, over the next 30 minutes or so, set up what looked like a jewelry store. We gathered a bunch of baubles and trinkets together and made what looked like a jewelry store. And instead of filming it in the actual store, we simulated one in a warehouse and finished that scene successfully, you know, only maybe an hour and a half later than it should have been. So yeah, you got to be resourceful. You got to be able to make a yoga studio look like an office with a desk, or, you know, you got to be able to
the scientist lab, you know.
Yeah, you got to be able to build. Oh, we've built some really good science labs, you know, just in spare rooms. And you also have to be able to film guerrilla. For example, there's no way we can afford to pay for, like, you know, massive permits. Like, Pittsburgh is known as a city where a lot of big films are made, like Dark Knight Rises, for example, was made here.
Yes.
That's a superhero film, you know. Bane, all of that, Catwoman, Anne Hathaway. But yeah, I mean, we obviously can't afford to pay for all those kinds of things. So you have to be able to film kind of in a guerrilla manner, and kind of make sure that the coast is clear, things like that. Especially when using university campuses, for example.
Yeah.
Nobody really cares that much because kids are used to walking around and seeing weird things happen. But you always want to kind of like not draw too much attention when you're 3 or 4 people in spandex, right? Guerrilla
Yeah.
filmmaking. That's exactly. In fact, here's a really good one. Thanks for jogging my memory, Eddie's Gaming. So I don't know if you know about this, but one of the films that was made here that was not too great was Seth Rogen's American Pickle was made here, and it was terrible. Anyway, point is,
You
a
lost
lot
me
of it
at
was
Seth
filmed
Rogen.
right. What? Seth Rogen? Well, we like Seth Rogen only for 2 reasons: The Boys and Invincible. He paid for those, so that's good. But
Yeah.
as far as that movie, American Pickle, it was kind of a mess, and a lot of it was filmed right around the corner from my house. So what we did is we had a Jewish superhero, Gardenia, who's from a Jewish part of town, and she's like a good version of Poison Ivy. Her name is Becky Bloom. You get it?
Yep.
And so I hired someone to play the John Cassavetes of superhero film. Yeah, I hired someone to play the Seth Rogen a Jewish pickle character. He was kind of like a Rip Van Winkle pickle maker.
Okay.
And we made that character and gave him a different name. We called him like Mendel or something like that. And he was a pickle seller on the street selling pickles out of a jar, handmade pickles. And we had 2 hipsters come up and steal the money from him. And then Gardenia had to beat up the hipsters behind the bank and return the money to the pickle seller. And he had a Yiddish accent and everything, and then took a selfie with the superhero. So we kind of like built a whole parody scene around the American Pickle universe that was part of episode 18 exactly. And it was part of it was just one of the scenes that happened in that episode. It was super fun to do, and guerrilla filmmaking done right on the street, almost exactly where he shot the same scene in the movie.
If I could tell you a short guerrilla film, I told you my buddy he does film, so we were making a mafia spoof movie called Nothing's Personal, and we're driving into Manhattan, and they got fake guns in the trunk. So just imagine what happens. We got pulled over by Homeland Security, going through the Midtown Tunnel with a trunk full of fake guns. We almost all got arrested. Nobody had a permit, nothing. And I'm just like, okay, I'm trusting everybody. I'm just driving along the car. Next thing you know, we're like, what do you guys think you're doing? Going through the Midtown Tunnel?
Yeah, you got to be careful when you use realistic props. We have some realistic props.
Yeah. You guys, I was so pissed.
Did they confiscate the fake guns though?
No, but they at first, they opened the trunk and they were like, "What is going on?" Like they put on the speakers, get out of the car, and first thing I turn around, I'm like, they're fake, right? Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. So everything's gonna be, but they don't play around. It was scary. They saw it with the camera equipment and stuff like that. They basically said, "You guys need a permit," and they made us turn around. We left the tunnel and left. So we ended up going to Brooklyn, and then these. They didn't learn the lesson. I was supposed to be driving the car with the fake gun shooting as I'm driving down Brooklyn. I was like, guys, I'm going to get arrested doing this.
It sounds like somebody might call the cops on you for that. Yeah.
Yes. And I was supposed to throw the guy in the trunk of the car and drive away. I said, the people in the, I did it. And the movie never came out. So
Yeah, Marvin can tell you we were up in New England at a Comic-Con up there near Boston, and we were invited to come over to a military prop warehouse. Apparently, this guy had the biggest warehouse of military props for films in New England, and it was just jaw-dropping in there. And so I went, I bought a few realistic guns and weapons. I know one of our ladies spent a whole bunch of money. What was it, on a bow and arrow thing, right?
Yeah, she bought a bow and arrow and something else. I can't remember what else it was, but yeah, she got a bow and arrow.
Yeah, it was like a really realistic bow and arrow she bought. But yeah, I got a bunch of guns and grenades and some very realistic looking suitcases and stuff. And
cool.
so yeah, I mean, if you use that stuff, you just got to be careful who sees you use it. Obviously, it's probably better to film those kinds of things inside as much as possible.
Yeah.
Oh, right by my house once again. I don't think Marvin was involved in this, but we filmed a bank robbery. The bank, it was my own bank. It was closed on a Sunday, and we just had the guys, run from the door and run around the corner, guns blazing and stuff. And, it was on a Sunday, so nobody said anything. But yeah, you just got to be careful when doing stuff like that people don't take it the wrong way. And I think the fact that we did it on a Sunday probably made it easier for us because nobody was thinking that the bank was actually being robbed.
Oh, that's funny. That would be a good story to tell. Going to jail dressed up in a superhero costume. Come on.
Yeah.
You're cracking me up. All right, guys. We've been talking for an hour and a half. I could easily talk for another hour, but I my day job is construction. I wake up at 4 a.m. So this is like my bedtime, and I'm starting to fade. So anything you guys want to do to close this out? Anything you want to say that I forgot to bring up?
No, I mean, just check us out online. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at The Edge Comic. The website is theedgecomic.com. We have up to issue 5 available for order now. Issue 6 comes out in June, issue 7 in July, and then every month after that. We're also in Diamond's previews. Issue 2 will be in stores on June 7th.
Cool. And Marvin, do you have any problem if I do a showcase on your comic?
I do not.
Okay, cool. Since I got you here,
you have issue 3 of ours, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. We'd love to see what you think about that.
Yeah.
But we are of course Heroineburgh, and we have a full complement too: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and DeviantArt. And our website is heroineburgh.com. That's where you go to download the episodes and buy the comics online. And you can also see a list on our website of about 200 stores that carry the comic book pretty much all over the country and some in Canada. But we have a big, especially big clusters of stores in places like Western Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Florida. But we're getting all over the place, adding a few new stores each month.
Cool. Now, we were talking before about like Marvel and DC dropping the ball, and then Marvin, you said you think DC is starting to realize and course correct. And
well, yeah, like if you saw the trailer for, I think it was in both Shazam, the new Shazam, and in the Flash, they do talk about like comics at the end, and they were saying that. Oh, actually, this was at Comics Pro. We did Comics Pro here in Pittsburgh in February, and they talked about having ads on Max and in all their programming, telling people to get to their local comic shop to get comics.
Yeah, this was kind of John. This was kind of a unique opportunity. I don't know if you know what Comics Pro is.
No, I don't.
Yeah, so it is a yearly convention of comic retailers run by the retailers themselves, not by Diamond.
Okay.
And so you got about 200. I mean, there's 1,500 stores, but you got about 200 retailers in a room with many panels, and then you've got a bunch of publishers showcasing their yearly lineup, their yearly program for these retailers. And in previous years, this had been held in places like Portland, Oregon, but this year it was held in Pittsburgh, PA back in February, and we were invited to showcase along with all the national publishers.
And Marvel and DC were there?
Marvel, DC, Vault, Dark Horse, Image, a bunch of Devil's Due, a bunch of other guys. And we were there too. We had a table. We were able to talk directly with a few dozen retailers. And I definitely recommend being part of that experience. It's not an open Comic-Con. It's an industry convention. So,
right. Yeah.
And there are two of those every year. Sorry?
The comic book store is actually talking to the publishers?
Yes. There are two conventions like that. One of them is run by Diamond. Diamond talks to everybody. kind of like a top-down dictation. And then the other one is run by the comic publishers themselves. The whole convention was run by a guy who owns a store in Irvine, California. A really nice dude. So
I'd love to be a fly on the wall in that convention. Maybe I'll go with you next year. I'll be like I'll carry a camera or something like that, and just
you got amazing things happening. We're sitting up on the 18th floor eating snacks and drinking pop, provided by our local comic shop, New Dimension Comics. And who should walk in but CB Cebulski? He wants a beer, and I give him all 3 of our books, and he gives me a business card.
Oh, cool. How is the atmosphere? I'm really curious about this because well, I'll save my rants. But Marvin, how was it what were the comic stores saying to the publishers?
Their biggest concern was getting people into their doors, and from Vault did a really good presentation on reach back to customers and trying their best to try to get people into stores to buy comics. I mean, I don't know what's going to work, what doesn't work, but they all had these ideas they were putting out. But I mean, it's going to take a huge effort to recover and bring people back to buying comics, period, and especially into comic shops. It's something that we're really interested in, because I mean that's the lifeblood of the industry. Is
right.
The shops disappear. I mean that's a whole entire industry that could fall on its face.
Yeah, it's a whole art form. When in the 80s, I worked in a comic book store. We went to one of these, and I remember I was all excited, and it was the owner of my store, and it was myself and another employee. We just sat there quiet, and I remember I sat next to Neil Adams and Neil Adams' daughter, and I was like, Trump. And then it turned into a Jerry Springer episode. Everybody was yelling at each other. Everybody was screaming at each other, and I was like, oh my God. So I was wondering, and things were good back then.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say there was any of that here. I think that people come there, they want to help, and they want to learn, and they want to figure things out. I would say that most of the retailers there are the top of the chain, the people who filter down decisions to other stores who can't attend these kind of things. And they're like at the forefront of trying these new things, and then other stores see what they're doing and then emulate those things. But I mean, there's a lot of work that has to be done to revitalize the market, and we kind of don't want to do it, but it starts at the top. Like Marvel, DC, and Image have to.
Like the Fisher King, the king is the strength of England. Marvel Comics is the strength of the comic book.
Yes, and they need to be using these billion-dollar movies,
right,
to push people to comic shops.
Right. A rising tide floats all boats. If Marvel gets 100,000 copies, it'll get people to the store, and then somebody's going to see The Edge.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to see Heroineburgh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. This is one of my hot button issues that I could walk down Times Square. I work in Manhattan sometimes, and you'll see the latest superhero movie poster or billboard that's 3 stories tall, as big, and thousands of people see it, and nobody's going into a comic book store. I can't believe it. It's absurd. But all right, I already said we were going to close out. Then you guys got me with that. That was a real interesting. Yeah. Oh, Marvin Wynn, you're going to do good for you. Good luck. Please save the industry, please. I love comic books, please.
Well, I mean, somebody's got to do it, right?
Right.
Might as well be us.
Guys, might as well be a bunch of girls in colorful costumes.
That can't hurt.
Right. Yeah, it can't hurt. But thank you guys. I wish I could talk for another hour, but I wake up at 4 a.m. and I'm an old man. But thank you. Please send me all your links. I'll put them up here with everything. I want you guys to make $1 million. I want Marvin to drive a gold Cadillac to work tomorrow. I just think it would be great. I enjoy your comics. You guys are cool guys. And I wish you nothing but the best.
I'll settle for I'll settle for a super heroine on each arm.
I'm married. I already got one.
Yeah. I'm just kidding.
That's fine. But thank you guys for coming. It was a real pleasure. you know, I'll do. I'm gonna do a shoot. I'll do a showcase on the Edge. I'll do a showcase on Heroineburgh 3, and looking forward to the next combat. I'm tomorrow morning after work. First thing I'm gonna do is come home and I'm gonna order the Edge 2 to 5.
Awesome. Appreciate it.
No
Thank
problem.
you.
No problem. My pleasure. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for coming in. I unfortunately the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. I have to go. Thank you, everybody. I enjoyed the hell out of our talk tonight. Thank you.
All right. Good
Thanks
night.
so much, John. Have a good night.
Good night. Okay, and goodbye.